Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 28th of August going through until Sunday the 3rd of September 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm here in a new spot, in a new park, in a new location, so I'm just going to keep an eye out for unexpected things happening. Okay, so in these weekly horoscopes, what I do is I go through each day of the week and I look at what the planets are doing on that day and how they interact with each other. The point of these horoscopes is to try and understand the relationships the planets form amongst themselves, what energy that brings up, and how that influences all of us down here on planet Earth. So these weekly horoscopes are for all signs of the zodiac, whether you're a sun sign Virgo or a moon sign Pisces. This is an overall astrological kind of weather report where I look at what the planets are doing. Okay, so we got some big things happening this week. First of all, we have Uranus going retrograde on Monday. Uranus being the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected and chaos. So I feel that it going retrograde is actually quite a good thing. Then we also have a supermoon. We have a full moon in Pisces. Here in Europe, that happens early in the morning on Thursday, the 31st of August. If you're west of Europe, it happens late in the evening on the 30th of August. And then finally, on Sunday, the 3rd of September, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, going direct. So that's also a really good thing. Now, the vibe I kind of got when I looked at each day this week is that the thing that you're really kind of tapped into and the thing that you really resonate with is kind of dreaming about the future and using your intuition and kind of existing in this ethereal, almost like dream state. So the opportunity to kind of make new plans for the future and to consider what could be rather than just being super practical and saying this is what I need to focus on. And that's the other thing. With being in that dream state, I don't think you're going to be overly productive this week. So if you've got a lot to do, I would do my best. But if you're expecting to kind of sort out every issue in your life and you've got a list that's like 3 pages long, just give yourself a break and manage your expectations so that they're reasonable. And I would say this week, don't assume that everything is going to be done effortlessly, because we do have a lot of confusion going on astrologically. We have Mercury, the communication planet. That's in retrograde until the 15th of September. So with Mercury, communication becomes more stifled and problematic. Transportation may be unreliable. And then we also have Venus in retrograde until the 3rd of September, so the whole week until Sunday. And when Venus is in retrograde, things appear to be very different than they actually are. So there's the room to be deceived and to not see things clearly. Okay, so let's have a look then. Monday, the 28th of August. We immediately have, first thing happening, we have Uranus going retrograde until the 26th of January 2024. So with the retrogrades, the personal planets are really important. Mercury, Venus, and Mars, because they affect us personally. The outer planets, they move much more slowly. So a lot of them spend around 6 months of the year in retrograde. So they're not as significant because obviously 6 months, it's a long-term thing, right? And also with them being outer planets, they have more of an influence on the culture and on society and on groups of people rather than the individual. Uranus is chaos. It's what you can't control, right? And in Taurus, it's really about unexpected things happening on planet Earth in a practical sense. With it going retrograde, it means that internally for you, you're willing to become more flexible and to see your circumstances as kind of pliable and not set in stone. So until January next year, it's almost like, okay, this is what my life looks like now, but I don't really need to believe that in any kind of in any way that gives it too much importance, because it is just a temporary thing that I'm living through, and it's based on past decisions that I've made. So if I make different decisions about my future, then my life is going to look different. So you really take on that kind of approach where you're looking at the bigger picture and you're not taking your practical circumstances in the here and now as seriously. And it gives you a sense of control and power. So that's a positive. We also on Monday have the moon in Capricorn. The moon is the way you feel, and it's what gives you a sense of, oh, I'm home, I can decompress, this is familiar, this is what I like to do. In Capricorn, it's in the earth sign of the worker, and what will feel comfortable immediately on Monday as a result of that is that if I set goals and work towards those, then I'm going to feel good about myself. So I said that the whole week isn't overly productive. Monday here is still a good day to get things done. So if you do need to kind of take a big chunk out of your to-do list, I would do that sooner rather than later here this week. The Capricorn moon conjunct, so it sits right on top of Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is the planet of transformation and change, and in Capricorn as well, it's urging you to make practical changes in your life. So both of those together mean that you can kind of get to work and affect change. And then also the Capricorn moon sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So now we have a combination of earth and water. Capricorn is the earth sign, and water, Pisces. Both of those are feminine elements, and it's about receiving. So it's about being influenced by the real world and letting it kind of inform and guide you. Water is about listening to the higher realms and receiving guidance from them and kind of allowing yourself to dream and kind of see the bigger picture. So that immediately kind of underlines what I was saying a moment ago. You have this amazing vision and the ability to kind of braid that vision into your actual life, or to weave it into the carpet of your everyday life, if that makes sense. We also then have the moon going into Aquarius at 32 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. The moon in Aquarius is really tolerant of new ideas and kind of considering other options and having conversations which are just there for the fun of it, and where you're exploring things that may not necessarily be practical, but they're interesting and they add to the bigger picture. Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian and the teacher, right? Even though it's known as the water bearer, it's an air sign. So it is all about thinking outside of the box and invention and being like a mad scientist or even a sane one. The Aquarius moon then trines Mars in Libra. So exchanging ideas is pleasurable, like telling stories and thinking in abstract ways. And it really isn't just about, okay, work is at 9 and I have to, not that that's a bad thing, but you know, the routine and the practical things. So it starts at 9, so I stamp my little thing and then I work till 5. It's really about kind of painting some bigger picture in bright colors. The Aquarius moon also quincunxes the sun in Virgo. Oh, that actually, the combination of that makes these ideas, you look at them in the sense of, yes, but is this actually something we could implement? The sun in Virgo is always going to bring it down to the bottom line, which is, will this actually work or not? So with the Capricorn and the Virgo and then all the water and the Aquarius stuff, do dream, do be a visionary, and don't worry about ideas that are completely nonsensical. They will be sensical and you will be able to implement those. Okay. So overall here, the Uranus retrograde first and foremost on Monday. That's good news. If you're someone who needs some peace and quiet to kind of get your bearings, Uranus going retrograde will help with that. You do have all these fabulous ideas about how you can realize your dream, your vision for the future. Conversation and friendly connection with others is going to go well. But again, it may not be immediately about productivity or getting things done. It may seem very random or abstract, and most importantly, enjoyable. So spend time talking with people who think differently, who have unusual ideas. You'll really be inspired by that. You'll find it enjoyable and it'll motivate you to come up with your own kind of plans. Tuesday, the 29th of August, we have the Aquarius moon opposing Venus in Leo. That's interesting. You know, Venus in Leo is very unsubtle. Venus in Leo is like a singer on stage. It wants the limelight, it wants to be creative, and then for that creative output to be seen and recognized by other people. It also doesn't mind a round of applause. Okay, it is in retrograde until the 3rd. So that's interesting, because it's like, you know, I'm just thinking of an example. I heard a story like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, months ago, around the turn of the last century, I think around 1900, there was a woman who really wanted to be an opera singer. She couldn't sing, but she had a ton of money and connections and stuff. And I think it was in Paris, and she realized her dream. She got up on stage and she did her bit, and she became famous, not maybe for the reason that she wanted, the actual singing ability, right? But she certainly became a famous figure for doing what she did. And that's what I get with Venus in Leo in retrograde. It's kind of this need to perform and to be seen, but it doesn't always get it right, or the outcome is completely different than what you expected it to be. So in combination with the Aquarius moon, they oppose each other, right? The Aquarius moon isn't always the placement that gives you the most down-to-earth, grounded kind of information. It kind of exists up here. Like, what would I kind of describe as a moon in Aquarius idea? Like, if someone, you're just chatting to them about, you know, the everyday routine and what your friends are doing and the kids and stuff, and then suddenly this person comes up with an idea like, oh yeah, I want to start a company of floating taxis. Okay. You know, the problem with that is that the floating taxi hasn't been invented yet. There may or may not be capital. It's a great idea. It certainly is interesting, and it will bring up like ideas of your own, but it isn't necessarily something you can implement. So the combination of that, expect some really unusual, interesting stuff on Tuesday. I love that kind of thing, like the eccentric and the bizarre and things that kind of are totally unique and exist in their own right. That's the vibe I'm getting via this combination. The Aquarius moon then also squares Jupiter in Taurus and Uranus in Taurus, which amplifies all of this. Jupiter is the good luck planet of growth, right? It's the biggest planet in our solar system, and it's like putting air in a balloon and expanding it. So this weirdness is amplified. And then Uranus in Taurus is in retrograde, and it's about chaos. So I think Tuesday might be quite wild in terms of the ideas that come through. Then the Aquarius moon sextiles Chiron in Aries, and it quincunxes Mercury in Virgo. Mercury being in retrograde, so I may have a takeaway that really doesn't resonate with what was initially being said or trying to be taught here. And then Chiron in Aries, what does this information say about me? So Tuesday the 29th, big ideas, right? The desire to be in the limelight. If you're working independently, or you are a leader, or you're someone who usually is in the limelight, this is the day to really take charge and to pool all your power and to affect change. Because of the Mercury retrograde though, just check that all the information is correct, and continue doing that until the 15th of September. Okay, Wednesday the 30th of August. I'm just listening for the noise. Wednesday the 30th of August, so we've got no bells this week, but we've got dogs barking. The moon enters Pisces at 3:56 in the afternoon, so that's very different. Pisces is still also about things that aren't necessarily tangible, but it's connected to the higher realms in the sense of my guides, my conscience, my intuition, my creativity, connection with other people, love, romance, and it's able to paint a picture of the beautiful things that could be. It's not so much about scientific invention, it's about a state of being, like your own personal utopia. The Pisces moon conjunct Saturn in Pisces, which I find really interesting, because Saturn is really about structure, and it's the foundation, and it's what you can rely on. And in Pisces, it really makes the spiritual world seem more real. And then with the moon conjuncting that and blending its energy together with Saturn, this is the day where I think you really may be presented with the vision, the dream. I watched a documentary recently on Rock Hudson, right, the actor, and they were telling a story and stuff. Let me just mark where I was so I don't lose my place. Yeah, he had like a colleague that were both trying to make it in Hollywood, and they were both like aspiring actors, right? And this one guy, he didn't make it, and he was kind of uncertain about whether he should even be an actor, whether he, you know, it was for him or whatever. And he was talking to Rock Hudson about it, and Rock Hudson was like, you know what, I had a dream where I saw myself as like this diamond and I was sparkling and stuff, and ever since that dream I've had absolutely no doubt that this is my path. And it's interesting because that happens to a lot of us, that we have these kind of inner visions, these realities that only exist for us, which give us certainties in particular areas. And it's not based on anything other than that you had that dream and the way it made you feel, that then gives you a sense of, this is mine, you know? And that's what I get here on Wednesday, that if ever there was a time to have that kind of confirmation of this is what I am and who I am and what I could be, it's Wednesday. The Pisces moon then also quincunxes Mars in Libra, so you're good with other people, connections are supported. Mercury in Virgo, quincunxes Chiron in Aries, and that still is, I'm trying to do something for myself. I'm not particularly interested in all the details. I want to take shortcuts and I may get it wrong. So read every paragraph. Yeah. However, with all this spiritual watery stuff, it's actually you're open-minded enough to accept weird and unusual and impractical ideas. So you see, it's a mixed kind of blessing. So overall on Wednesday, it's very ethereal. Your intuition and creativity are heightened, and it's a good day to connect with loved ones. You're not so interested in being overly productive because you're too busy dreaming, right? In a practical sense, where you are actually productive and where you do get work done is in the realm of dreamland, where you can dream up new scenarios and plans for the future. And on top of that, your relationships work nicely and effortlessly. So relationship with my dreams, relationship with other people, all good. Thursday, the 31st of August. Okay, so if you're in Europe, the supermoon happens on the 31st. I can't even say that today. God. Thursday, the 31st. Okay. If you're west of Europe, then it happens, late in the evening on Wednesday the 30th. And if you're east of Europe, it happens later on in the day on Thursday, right? Okay, so a supermoon is when a full moon is closer to the Earth than it usually would be, so it appears as larger and it influences us more significantly. And it's a full moon in Pisces, so the full moon gets to its completion point. It says, let me let go of all this energy, shower all these little people on planet Earth with it. And Pisces is really the sign of spiritual connection. So everything that we've been building up towards, the dream, what could be, that's really, really heightened on Thursday morning, Europe. Wednesday night if you're west of Europe. Yep. The Pisces moon also opposes the sun in Virgo. So no criticism, please. And not everything has to be practical, okay? I'm busy dreaming here. I'm busy painting a picture of what could be. And Mercury in Virgo, I'm willing to think differently or to get things wrong. I'm flexible. You know, when I was a kid, I read something, Edward de Bono, The Thinking Hats. Like, he came up with this thing about, different personas or different like modes we can be in. Like, if I'm doing a biology project, I put on my blue biology hat. If I'm talking to my boyfriend, then I'm putting on my relationship hat. And here, you're willing to exchange hats. So again, the Mercury retrograde, I think, is nice because you're willing to be teachable and to learn new things. It textiles Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus. So again, earlier in the week, we had that combo of Capricorn and Pisces, right, via Neptune and the moon. Now, later in the week, we have Jupiter and Uranus in Earth, Taurus, and the Pisces moon. That's where the water comes from. So it's still that willingness to receive information and then to say, how can I implement this information? So we're back to being eccentric but practical. And it quincunxes Venus in Leo. So we've got our unusual kind of opera singer there. I'm really interested to see what people come up with this week. It seems super creative. It seems really interesting in terms of people coming up with bizarre ideas, which to me, again, are often the most interesting. So with this supermoon and all the other things going on, the dream state feels especially close by on Thursday. But with all the retrogrades and things, there is room for error. So I think because Venus goes direct on the 3rd of September, this is like the final curveball that it's throwing us before it goes direct. And I feel it's kind of amplified and heightened by this full moon in Pisces. So any new people, opportunities that seem to promise the world and come into your life and kind of sell you on some sort of a dream, and especially if it seems too good to be true, focus on that with 100% scrutiny to make sure it's genuine. So I think on Thursday there's the potential to dream and to have unusual ideas. But like with anything, exceptional and amazing, other things come along with it, and there's the potential to be scammed through having the wool pulled over your eyes or being flattered into not seeing all the little red flags, whatever it may be. So just when it comes to new connections, and if it seems too good to be true, just really pay attention to that. Then moving on into September, Friday the 1st of September, we've got the Pisces moon conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. So dream, 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 again, huge. And it sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. So that's really the fundamental theme of this week, the connection of earth and water, shaping you almost into a chalice that's receptive to spiritual information coming in, and then you hold that within yourself and work with it and through it. The moon enters Aries at 3:25 in the afternoon, so it's all systems go when the moon goes from the last sign, Pisces, into the first sign, Aries, from water to fire. So we've got a significant shift here at the beginning of this new month. The Aries moon opposes Mars in Libra, and it quincunxes the sun in Virgo. So other people and the details haven't been important all week, but other people have. Here on Friday the 1st of September, the relationship you really value is the one with yourself. Mars in Libra quincunxes Saturn in Pisces, and that is because if you connect on a higher realm kind of level, on a spiritual level, through meditation or chanting or yoga or swimming or walking in nature, whatever gets you to that place of I feel connected, that is the relationship that's important to you, and that's where you can get the most guidance and the most information. So you absolutely are in dreamy kind of researcher mode here on Friday the 1st of September, and you can sketch out a new plan for your future. So it's not just that you're being rude or intolerant, it's that the higher realms are talking to you, you're trying to listen so that you can get a new plan together. So it makes sense. Later on in the day, you may run into some conflict when working with information or talking to a friend or a family member. Being considerate and open-minded and seeing the other person's point of view is the way forward and to resolve issues. But don't let yourself be overly influenced, and make space to do your own thing here on Friday. Saturday the 2nd of September, we have the Aries moon now conjuncting Chiron in Aries, so it's really about what can I do, but it's almost a little early because Venus only goes direct the next day, so it's like you're revving your wheels and you're ready to go, and that could frustrate you a little bit if you can't move forward when you want. It trines Venus in Leo. Yeah, if you're trying to do something really like groundbreaking or unusual, like something that's never been done before, I don't know. If you're a performance artist and you want to be in the window of H&M naked, covered in honey, this is the day to do it, Saturday the 2nd. Because that weirdness, that unusualness, it really has its own space during a Venus in retrograde, and this is the last day of it. So anything that is likely to raise some eyebrows is a good thing to move ahead with here on Saturday. It quincunxes the Sun in Virgo and Mercury in Virgo, because other people are going to be willing to put their critical hats aside and to see something for what it is, even if it's peculiar. So Saturday the 2nd of September, the scrutiny that you're meant to apply when working with information, it kind of shifts, and you may start to scrutinize yourself and feel a strange sense of boredom or letdown, or things being anticlimactic, and you want to bring some heat into things. So because of that sense of you may overcompensate for that feeling by doing something extreme. You know, if I'm bored, then I'm going to do something that's wild so that I get out of that boredom rather than just something normal. It's better to proceed with caution on Saturday and to take a moment to reflect before galloping off into an exciting new direction, because it's unlikely that you're going to judge that thing on its actual merits. It's just something to alleviate the boredom. So it's extreme action as a way of kind of self-medicating boredom away. And self-medicating usually isn't a good idea. Sunday the 3rd of September, we've got Venus finally going direct. So planning the wedding or setting a wedding date or actually getting married or start launching the new business or corporation or going out on dates and starting new things which are part of your life purpose and which you genuinely care about, those are now supported again, and they're going to be less complicated from Sunday the 3rd of September onwards. We've got the Aries moon forming a square with Pluto and Capricorn, so I want to now really affect the changes, and all these dreams I've had, I want to implement them. The moon goes into Taurus at 5 p.m, which is amazing because Taurus is an earth sign that's fixed. So it's like, how do I build this structure, the foundation, the house on top of it, my way? So it's perfect to actually start laying the bricks. The Taurus moon then sextiles Saturn in Pisces, and it quincunxes Mars in Libra. So the connection is back between you and the higher realms, but now you and other people. So it's not all about you like it was on Friday, Saturday. You're more considerate and have patience. Sunday the 3rd, plans can now be implemented through concrete action without complication because of Venus going direct. Making changes and setting goals will come naturally and easily. And you, for the first time this week, really, you land firmly on the ground with both feet solidly planted on the ground. You feel down to earth, practical, and you'll want to get going with all of your new ideas. Relationships are still good, and it's a great opportunity to spend time with other people as well as getting things done for yourself. So I love this week. I think it looks super interesting and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you have a fabulous time. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, scroll down a little bit until you get to the button that says book your reading. Click on that to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use astrology, the tarot, numerology, and my intuition. I combine all 4 things to answer any questions you may have. So if you're questioning kind of the relationship you have with yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, if you want to look at the ideal job that you could do for a sense of fulfillment and financial reward, if there's anything about family or communication or your roots, love life, everyday routine, relationships, connection with institutions, what's coming up in future, locations, anything at all really, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me, please. That's a process where you send me 10 or more life events, like significant life events, like this is when I got married and this is when I moved countries, that kind of stuff. And I can actually work out your time of birth. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, then please give it a like, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have a fabulous week here. I'm going to make a video on the supermoon, a separate video, and I'll go into more detail and I'll analyze that chart. So if you're interested in that, check out that video. And check out some of my other videos. I do videos on the new moons and full moons, these weekly horoscopes, little vlogs, like for instance I moved house recently and I filmed a new place, so if you want to see what that looks like. And I still do my daily tarot reading. The daily tarot reading is for members of the channel. So I've been doing the daily tarot reading for years and years and years, and with recent changes I've decided, I wasn't forced, but I decided to make it for members of this channel only. So I'm still doing those. If you've thought that they've just disappeared, no, they haven't. It's just that I've made the decision to make those available for members. So if you aren't a member of this channel yet, then if you go to the front page of the channel, next to subscribe, there's a join button. If that doesn't show up for you, like for some people it doesn't, just email me and we'll send you the link. Robin will send you the link. So the email is on my website, gregoryscott.com, but also just so you have it now, it's readings@gregoryscott.co.uk. So I hope you have a great week and I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Take care.